Me assure say by this time they won't videos so social media so I just say one lady sa police for be 5 action was street so the share car with the nickel 8 so going scan idea and then there is another lady I just no so say oh no so no the Airbnb or timu cleaners by maybe we any sika any na no or move you see in 30 December koso ewa Accra aha August 24. Let's also be me a subscribe button so. Now I click the notification icon. So Ghana Police Service for Akasa. Bomade also bet you our comment section. I make a foot up sent. And I am okay video from USA, from Canada, from Australia, from Germany, from Europe, or maybe from UK. Obeti me send this car using the Tatap Send app no. Available on App Store, any Play Store, or you see Android and I say any iOS device. Obeti me download Tatap Send now you see. Also. Also send this car reference code I'll bet me you see there send this car J24 simple as ABC J24 now you can story anymore. So you know me just want coming across a viral video of Lady B they say okay so about Ghana now about Ghana no 30 December Accra now a police for kidnapping no they say video so no inscription that to say how I got kidnapped in Accra. I don't know, I guess I'm born in Como. See.
Last night, I was kidnapped and robbed by the police in Ghana. I was kidnapped by 3 masked police officers. They covered their license plate. They didn't have name badges on. They completely covered their face. And as soon as they decided they wanted to take us, they took our phones and my camera. So I couldn't record. I couldn't contact anyone. I couldn't even look up, what was legal for the police to do. And obviously, not sure the law would have helped. They are the law like that. So the Uber driver that picked us up at the end of the night told me that this is something that happens frequently. The police set up these checkpoints all over the city and they'll stop you for anything. Like you could not come to a complete stop. You could have something on you. You could do nothing and they will stop you. And if they find out that you're American or they suspect you might have money, then they will take you. They decided they wanted to take us. They heard my accent because they asked me a question and I had to answer. And they checked our bags. They checked our whole body. And when they looked inside my bag and they saw that I had cash, they decided I needed to get in the car. So they told me to get in the car. I tried to ask why. I tried to say, like, is there anything else we can do to handle this? No. So they told me to get in the car. And they got mad anytime I tried to ask a question. So I realized, like, I cannot fight back right now. I have to simply, like, do what they say. So there was a friend of a friend that I knew in Ghana, and we had just went out to eat. So we're in the car together. They actually cuffed him because he's from Ghana, but they didn't cuff me. They just sat me in the car and they drove us around. Little did I know we were driving in Accra the whole time, but I don't know where I am. I don't have my phone. It feels like we're getting further and further from where I'm staying. Like I'm feeling, I'm feeling terrible. One of the cops is in the back seat and he has his arm around me the entire time. They were screaming at us most of the time, and then sometimes they would decide to be nice. Like it was definitely like a good cop, bad cop type of situation. They told me I would not go back home to America. They would arrest me and those charges would not let me board my flight. They told my friend he was gonna go to jail. And the threats kept escalating. At one point, they even made me read a Bible verse and explain to them why that meant we should pay them before they take us to the station. This was the most nonsense I'd ever heard in my life. But again, they're all armed. There are big ass guns in the trunk. At one point, there were 5 officers with us, and then at other points, there were 3. Like there was no leaving. There was nothing. So at one point they pulled up at an ATM and they told me, take out as much as you can. Are you dumb? Do I look like I'm fucking dumb? And I know y'all are probably like, why'd you get in the car? Why did I get in the car? I didn't have a choice. You try resisting 5 fat ass, armed, stinky ass, and let's get into the smell because the car stank. So at the ATM, I told them obviously they couldn't go with me into the ATM. I went to tell the bank people that I was not good, but they still had my phone and my camera and the person that I was with. So I took some money out. I took out like $150 US dollars, and I went back to the car. I gave it to them. I'm thinking it's over then. No, of course it's not over. They're still trying to extort more money out of the other guy. So eventually they get about $400 And I'm tweaking because I'm like, I need to be up in the morning. Like, where am I? Who am I? Like, I just felt, I've never felt powerless like that in my life. So I say all that to say, if you're going to Accra for Dirty December or going at all, make sure you don't, I guess, look rich. I didn't even have on any designer. I had on a cheap outfit. It doesn't matter. Don't talk back to the police because they will straight up take you. Thankfully, I'm not physically harmed. $150, that's nothing. They don't know that, but I'm gonna be okay, and I thank God for that. I thank God for his covering. And yeah, just wanted to tell my story.
Now, Salady, the username or TikTok, so Ariana. In fact, Ariana posted this video, though. Me not be interested in the story, right? But I didn't want to draw conclusions immediately because there were a lot of things that are not yet interesting. So I'll say, Ghana police for now share one, right? Almost stopping on checkpoint, almost stopping on. No ma kata mo badge so. Okay, ebi anomo share mo raincoat and I say or mo coat no mo digital checkpoint no. Also no ma kata mo nim. Now say wow, interesting. Ghana police is kata mo nim. No ma kata o mo number plate so. Now me say wow, Ghana police is for kata o mo number plate so. That was not just the only red flag. Was also say omo driving no, right? And then omo driving no. No mo quote Bible quotations cry their channel kwan also omo musika any ade omo de ne call ATM odu ATM na ho no na okọ yes okoko yiska but no person ka obo bank for na mane. And I'm like, Ghana ATM any bank for ben e wo Ghana ATM ho sa enumere no bank for ben Ghana ATM most you know watchman e cry not baby. What I say? Watchman not baby. So how is it possible? So, but all these red flags, I overlook them, thinking, say, okay, this is a serious situation at hand. And today, they to me idea. So quickly, so on the profile, sir, you would notice on the comment section, say, "Be we will say Clement account be catches check your DM near there." Because I sent her a DM, me also send the email because me chance here her email address and there was in the bio, right? And immediately after I sent her the email, okoko yi email address no if in the bio anymore. And it was only on the link tree profile no and one another email address there was. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. And at this time, no, not still on the video on the page. So at the time I'm taking this particular screenshot, that was around 9:44 p.m. That video that's why on the page, So I decided, it's okay, let me go through her profile. Now, when I went through her profile, this is what I understood. Say, Ariana, Oba Ghana. They say, and yes, Oba Ghana for Dirty December. One bag Ghana for Dirty December. But Oba Dirty December di the video. Rather, no, Oba Ghana for a conference be. They say, a CASA 2025 conference, or Accra. Now, conference, so date on Modi from 3rd to 8th December. And on my conference, or Accra, has right? And I know. Ariana, Eka say, the first paid trip Oba Ghana has.
I don't know if anyone cares, but I'm on my first completely paid for trip just to make content. Flight, stay, per diem costs, everything covered. And I'm just so thankful. Hallelujah. Keep posting y'all videos.
You chubby bia hoka at the amano and Oba HIV conference we Ghana.
Everyone wants to know how I got flown out to create content on a trip. And I mean, housing paid for, flight paid for, food paid for. And no, it's not a brand trip. Content is so big right now, you can create content for any group. Me specifically, I go to Georgetown, and so I was able to create content for my university, and they loved it. And another institute at the university decided they wanted me to create content of their trip. So think outside the box. Think about places and organizations and institutions that don't have that expertise in content creation, but want to be seen on platforms. I'm literally at a research conference for HIV and AIDS. I have never studied immunology, HIV and AIDS, diseases, nothing of the sort. But because I'm consistently creating content for different groups, for myself, for organizations, I was able to be seen and be known as someone who can do this. So think outside the box. Like everyone's like, oh, like I have to go on the Tarte trip. And don't get me wrong, topicals, I'm waiting for that call. But until then, reach out and offer to be a communications intern for like lots of groups. And it's literally content creation. can do it. I believe in you. And prayerfully, I'll have a brand trip next. Love you, bye.
Now, going through her profile once again, no, Obi bisa no question because oposti interior or buy no obe share, right? Oposti interior or buy no obe share or gun hasi. And Obi bisa no question saying the outfit be mu and now why sebi Mr. ye kidnapping or no. And also the last one because of release no too exposed. Now so can share sa particular way photo slide now post here now. That means that the last one no ebe sa atari a screen so. And then Ariana itra na ose a che say enam so ema police for no yen or already some more yen is no. And I was like, this is very interesting. This is a story and the whole thing no. Very, very interesting. So I decided to go further to find out say why in the bag Ghana hasi, right? And it appears say Ariana was starting school or Georgetown Law School. When I was starting. Now, school B is one of the institutes. There's some we affiliated. And that's some money Georgetown. Eduma Boom. O'Neill Institute. It's the O'Neill Institute, no? And no more bar. Sa ICASA 2025 HIV program, no? Our conference on by Ghana between 3rd of December and 8th of December. No? So, Ariana, no? On the video, Simo Kase Institute B. Just say, well, university. And then they buy. That means say O'Neill Institute. And I did no Ariana no buy. So remember creative content.
Forms. I'm literally at a research conference for HIV and AIDS. I have never studied immunology, HIV and AIDS, diseases, nothing of the sort. But because I'm consistently creating content for different groups, for myself, for organizations, I was able to be seen and be known as someone who can do this. So think outside the box. Like everyone's like, oh, like I have to go on the TART trip.
It is content creation. Then is this part of the content that you were asked to create? And I said, indeed, a situation of the sort happened. Now, it will be interesting to note, say, at the time, we were in contact with some sources, or Ghana Police Service, right? And they were trying to reach Ariana. And that's why even compelled me, say, me go to the extent, say, me throw email to Ariana using my official email address, right? Say, me throw the email. But no response. Omo WhatsApp Ariana, no response. Omo call the hotel, no moving pic, right? No response. Check here a lot of things. And I will find out says, Ariana ne krano. If Ghana has say 5th of December, and Ariana no, if we Ghana. But it's not just Ariana and all trendy. There is another girl, I know, Rahel Fox, and that's a Rachel Fox. Say I'll be see Academia. And Rachel also story no very interesting. Rachel and I say Rahel, and so be kind. I want the videos more. Say, the hotel, the Airbnb or demo no. Cleaners be clean you, or cleaners clean you, no. The $300 Ira.
This is why you need to be careful in foreign countries. I booked an apartment on Airbnb in Accra. It's a nice apartment, and the thing about the complex is I stay here all the time, but I've just gone with a private renter at this point. He brought cleaners to my house. I already said don't bring the cleaners. I'm not going to be in. He brought the cleaners, and the cleaners stole $300 out of my money. I had a stack of money, dollars, and they stole the money, thinking I wouldn't clock because it's just a little bit of the dollars that I did have. You need to be careful. I went through Airbnb, and now I have to report it back. And I've gone to the owners and told them that your cleaners have stolen money. They said, are you sure? Are you sure about it? I've left my bag inside the wardrobe. Why have I come in and my headscarf is hanging over the wardrobe? They opened the wardrobe to go through my shit. If you're cleaning someone's house, why would you open the wardrobe to look through their clothes? That doesn't make no sense. My bag was in there with the money. And they stole it.
But let's take it back. Again, Rachel also me go through and that's Rahel, me go through the profile no? And I learned say a 21-year-old lady artist or underground musician UK was started or born in UK. But I wanted to establish say what was her intention behind all the posts that making. Now it appears say or starting the post from day one of 30 December in Accra. Also 30 December content in an hour. Day one or say I slow. Day two no so I call club baba. Day three no or say and your friends say Robin we are there every day no. But look at the wording how you see it. When you say stolen or say robbing, and we all know what robbery means, right? Or say robbing. So look at the choice of words of these people. Look at the choice of words of these people. Right? Also say, my Robino. And then they for posted a video, say, we who cockroaches. I want the Airbnb apartment anymore. And so I was curious, say, which Airbnb apartment and I right also a lodgy woman. And she revealed to one of, in confirm one of the comments, Mr. Okoda, Embassy Gardens, by a private owner. It's here, and Okoda. Now, Mr. Okay. No, besides the question, said, Debbie, now send me a okay, you know. One report here, my police. And indeed, according to right there, also I report here, my police. I so Jina Cantonment Police Station cry any man, sir. But then people tied it to say no. And Nigeria for agenda. More year dirty December. And they be a right on so involved that. Oh yes, sir. Because day one, we post to say I am slow. Day two, we post to say Wako Kalaba baby answer and cosa. Day three, we post to say ya robbery. Me will be any what robbery means. But regardless. Therefore, what post to be for? What's supposed to say when we cockroaches on one? Now, what is your mission? And that's our agenda now. Regardless of the fact we're posting, so I can report our Cantonment Police Station yard. And another interesting thing. Initially, so go through the comments. I mean, I read most of the comments. Every single comment under the post, I read it. Well, initially, was trying to deny the fact, say, or in fact, or a Nigerian, right? Or a Nigerian born UK artist. But later, or due to me because Lee echo comment here say, at this moment, the Nigerians are behind this. They are paying this lady to sabotage our dirty December. Trust me, because this doesn't make sense. And this was under on the video posted here, say cockroach near the end. And I write very respond here say, as Nigerians, we have better things to focus on than sabotage. Shaking my head. This was Rahel's response. Say, as Nigerians, or more better things to do than some sabotage, dirty December. And I was also surprised. So, of course, Ghana Tourism Authority for a release statement. Say, cyber crime units, cyber security authority, the Ghana Police Service for best start investigating, or be all information beyond more collaborating, right? But Ghana Police Service for release a press statement. Now, Ghana Police Service for press statement, no, release here, no. Very interesting. Almost say, almost launching investigations into Ababa way. Audi kind yes allegate say police for kidnapping. Ghana Police Service for say, almost see any community no. Almost yes say nkom pese eja. Almost approachi. Then the obua no mutumi investigate asem na police for chrono baby omu gina no ne ade no. Omu to bring omu to book. Omu contact no. Na che say oni nipa mienu na na ete. Hotel na owomu. Medical body that say a moving pick. I mean, I don't care whatever can happen. Moving pick, right? I'm checking. I'm finding out. Say on the 5th of December, and Ariana check it out of the hotel. Every Ghana has it. And see, Ariana video no post here no. O post video no on Sunday. Sunday no post here. 7th of December and no post here. And the Ariana free Ghana and Sana o post this video no. If you had good intentions. Why not even report to, say, be as a O'Neill Institute, Sabe report it to her? You report to them, say, something of this sort happened. Can you please help me get justice? Something of the sort. Then maybe you record a video, story time, telling your story and all of that. Show proofs of a debit from your from your account. Say, be who can withdraw $150, no? Police furnish your more J, no. Who can withdraw, debit notification the buy because listen, in America, in all these countries, every single transaction be able to make it piano. You get an alert. Even Ghana has a cry in alert. Now come to America, you see be American card and I say American bank be an visa. You will definitely get an alert. So in your story to make it more credible, at least you could have showed an alert. And mostly, so even with bank apps anymore, right? Most of you are aware. Okay, bank apps, they will refer you to the transaction. Say, did you perform this action yourself? If not, lock your card and now say call us and now bibisa. And they show you which ATM are we withdraw here. They show you. So all these records would be available. Ghana Police Service for some check here, Omo who say Ariana every Ghana or you see Kotoka International Airport no and odi free Ghana on the 5th of December. No almost as well state say Oma try some reach victim say they be assist with investigations. Or catch our police for say we free Ghana has say no nya dey bet me abo police for no. Now remember say our candidate say a police for the kata obudi. Once our candidate say a police for the kata omo number plate so which makes no sense. It doesn't make it. Omo kata omo nim so. So she's Ghana police is for reaching out to Ariana is no. Or say only Ghana has say so there's nothing she can provide to the police. About the idea and answer number plate there is nothing she can do. And I say be a vehicle chrome you see there is nothing she can get to the police. Omo request contact of Sana Danfo no. Or say or what Ghana has say no. Can I say Ariana can video ni mu? Or no now or say or the first paid trip or buy what Ghana has say no. Or can video I don't know if you paid attention. Or can video ni mu say na Danfo be any mobile or Ghana ha any idea. Right? Into almost see oh, so down for corner I will say no account who or Ghana has say no. You bet me in the contact am I. Ebi or no crab to me assist with investigations. Ariana stated to Ghana police has said that foreign person be involved in the investigations. That foreign person be involved. Ariana, according to Ghana police service for no, almost we deleting the video no. Every TikTok, which is true, we delete every TikTok. We block them on WhatsApp. WhatsApp calls and answer messages and go through. We refuse see so any information no way to be proceeding with investigations. It appears that whoever paid Ariana are achieving a purpose. Because video now go viral, identify the image of Ghana police service. Ghana as a country, you know, a project here in a way say, yeah, safe, yeah, no my safe bisa. Na impose all back Ghana for 90 December and was all shown who's here. I gossip 24. I don't know what you think, but between actually your comment section or you get it. This whole thing has never made sense to me. Right? But you deserve the updates and you have to hear the truth as it is. Magraheb.